Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have just finished watching The Craft Legacy, a 2020 release. Oh, so boring. So boring. So boring. I want my time back. Before I get into that, let me remind you folks that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I purchased one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. And for every bracelet I purchase, 4Ocean will pull a pound of trash out of the big blue. And this is, of course, important because I'd like to eat fish without plastic in it. So if you could, comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe share this with your friends. It would be much appreciated. In any case, so what we have here is, well, you know, The Craft was about a coven of witches. In this case, the coven being 4 witches. We start out with a coven of 3 witches, and they find a 4th in the new girl, who happens to have a ridiculously rich, misogynistic stepdad and a bunch of turd step brothers. Okay, and then they realize that together they really can do magic, and they turn a Republican douchebag into a Democrat douchebag. Yeah, I mean, he's still a douchebag, and I would not be able to stand to be in the same room with him, but he's at least a douchebag for good. And I mean, again, the two extremes, at least one doesn't torture women. It's just merely torture to be around them. Women with an X? I don't... Whatever. Anyway. So, of course, the first kind of 60 minutes of this is issues, and we have powers, and yada, yada, yada. And then the film starts. And I mean, kudos to this film. It has David Duchovny in it, who's one of my favorite actors. And it's got the, what was her name? Kaylee? She played the Smalley from the sequel to Pacific Rim. So she's really had a reputation for cruddy sequels at this point, I think. Anyway. So, about when the third act pretty much comes in, you do realize that, yes, there is a bigger active world of magic, which is a good thing. And, you know, if you have power, there are people who covet power. Again, I don't want to give away too much, but it's just getting to that point was really hard. And then the special, I don't really remember a lot of The Craft. But the special effects from The Craft, as I do recall, were really awesome. At least for the time. And I haven't rewatched the movie for this, because this movie needs to be able to stand alone if it's a good movie. And it doesn't stand alone. There are things, I mean, the tangential tie between it and the first movie is something you would only understand if you saw the first movie. It's kind of, that's how it works. So yeah, I mean, I think I fell asleep at some point, because, but it's just bored me to tears. And again, look, I've watched a lot of really bad movies lately. I mean, these sort of shot with a camcorder by an inexperienced crew, backyard productions, and they hold my interest so much more than this because stuff happens that isn't issues. I mean, it's like, okay, you turn the local D-bag into your twitard buddy. And now you can all watch Twilight together, so there can be some testosterone in the room. Alright. I've never watched Twilight. I have no desire to. I'm sure I'll get to it eventually, but it's kind of a movie for girls. Oh. And a particular kind of girl, the name of which I don't know if there's even such a translation into English, but this is also a girl power movie, and there is sort of the underlying current that men are dumb and need to be remade into the image of women. Right. Look, not all men are dumb. There are men who are dumb, and this message that, there aren't good dudes out there is kind of annoying. Just like, the misunderstanding of the Wiccan religion, because there is a real religion under this whole witchcraft thing, is also annoying. I mean, look, there were witches and warlocks, and who they were in reality was simply doctors, healers. And, like these ancient witches' spells that we keep hearing about, they're not magic. They're just supposed to, do things like suppress pain and cure disease. At the time, that was magic. And in fact, there is certain languages, I believe Egyptian is one, where the word spell and the word recipe are the same. So, in their world, you have a spell for making cookies, which involves putting ingredients in a bowl, mixing them together, separating them out on a sheet, and putting them in an oven. Nothing magical about it, but spell is just what it is. So again, what I'm getting at is the fact that this movie has a really long first act. And I'm not asking for realism in a movie like this. I am, however, asking for things to happen. Once again, when you are changing personalities, when you're making people other people, that is a really dangerous kind of magic. Or at least it should be. The whole, like, levitating and stuff, not nearly as complicated by design. But the build-up to things being, it's like, okay, they go from, we're not good at this magic stuff, to now we use magic all the time just to screw with people, to, okay, now here's the point where it's like, it's not very well layered. And again, it's this is boring, okay, stuff finally happens. The first half to 60% of the movie excuse me, dry throat, not enough happens. I mean, maybe if you're a girl that wishes you could find the perfect man, this will apply to you, this will appeal to you. If you're a big fan of the first film, you're probably going to like this more. I enjoyed the first film, but this just doesn't sit well with me. So the Craft Legacy, it gets a watch only if you're bored. I was hoping for more from this, but, well, this is where we are. Anyway, I'm Richard.
Greetings, capitalist pigs. I am Great Russian Strongman Stealth Borgov, here from Absurd TV to remind you to like and subscribe to this video. And leave a comment telling everyone how much you'd like to see more of me, which you can find on Absurd TV. Bye, Mark Schaefer.